All right. So I'm pretty positive I'm going. So welcome to Guy Atkinson's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, a place for tattooers, apprentices, and collectors to unite under all things tattoo. We encourage that you join in these live streaming events and real world events where we offer a new option with connecting with each other for the better. From the developing your art to getting down to the technical part of your skills, surrounded by like-minded peers, you can see us beaming out with events every day that you guys can get connected to, talk about. Honestly, I say this all the time, probably the friendliest community that I've met thus far, from live tattooing to drawing groups to one-on-one classes. I want to thank everyone joining in from YouTube, Facebook, or Vimeo, and special shout out to anyone listening via podcast. Our event schedule and notifications can be found on the free Reinventing the Tattoo app on Apple or Google Play, or directly online at community.reinventingthetattoo.com. All of these episodes can be found on demand in the folders section. If you can hear us, be sure to tag us and a friend who may benefit from this experience and knowledge as well as yourself. We here at Reinventing the Tattoo are beaming out to 5 channels 24/7. If you go to reinventingthetattoo247.com, you can enter to win a free goodie bag that has some gifts from raw pigments, Cheyenne cartridges, or Delis Pro. For those who don't know, we have several different shows, including this one, Monday at 9 a.m. with Kier Franklin, that's me. Sunday at 1 p.m. with Jason Leeser, that's his drawing group. Sunday at 9 p.m. Sunday at 9 p.m. The Tattoo Weekly with Gabe Ripley, Lauren, Jake Meeks of Fireside. And Monday morning, like I said, is with me. Then we have 9 p.m. on Mondays with Guy Atchison with his one-on-one classes that you can Zoom in with, and he critiques your work. You guys go over basic subjects and all come together to do one assignment, which I think is probably one of the coolest things ever, something that I've only dreamed of. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. with Ricardo Sturdivant. That's his drawing group / class. Mondays at 12 is the Tattoo Now show with Gabe Ripley. Thursdays at 10 a.m. is myself again with the fun of Reinventing the Tattoo Thursday morning fundamentals. That's where I basically go over the basic fundamentals of art and tattooable art images meant for all sorts of ages and skill levels. Thursdays at noon is the Tattoo Collecting Podcast with Fawn Baker, Jordan Ruckus, and many more. You can find more content from Andre Malcolm to BJ Betts, all on demand at courses.reinventingthetattoo.com. And because we can present to you this awesome content for free, we also have to thank our sponsors who make it possible. WorldTattooEvents.com, updated tattoo events around the world, especially with COVID going on. It's very important to keep up to date with what's really happening. Just recently, about 16 events have already canceled due to everything that's been going on and the uptick of the virus. So it's always good to keep up to date, especially if you do love traveling like myself. Inkjet Stencils or inkjetstencils.com, making stenciling easier with a mess-free print system, easier on yourself and your apprentice to get the job done, especially during convention season. Dealize Pro, or known as dermalizepro.com, help tattooing clients around the globe. You can see awesome examples of that at their website. And special thanks to Gabe Ripley from Tattoo Now, who's been doing it for 25 years, helping us behind the scenes and overall being the best. GuyAtchison.com. Of course, we have to thank him for making this all very possible with all his hard work. You can find machines, his Biomech Encyclopedia, prints, paintings, all on his website there. Fantastic. I thank our affiliates, ecofriendlytattoosupplies.com, apprenticeship diaries with Amy Nichols, and the Fireside Tattoos, and also real world events. We are also having our Paradise BYOB in October. You can find more information about that at paradisebyob.com. We got possibly Belgium in November that you could be finding us there. We would definitely be beaming out from that. Gabe and Ivana and Nick Baxter may be doing some seminars. Next May is Hell City. Next July is River City Tattoo Invitational. next October would be the Paradise Tattoo Gathering. So I'm very excited to see what's going to be up and coming for that. Um, and if you'd like to be a host or host your own event or anything like that, make sure you email management@reinventingthetattoo.com. Now, whew, that was a breather. Hello, everybody. My name is Kier Franklin. Like I said, I am first year tattooer and the host for the Monday morning drawing groups, as well as the Thursday morning fundamentals. Basically, at this one, all we're going to do is hang out and draw. You can find the Zoom link in our Reinventing the Tattoo app events. We got 2 people coming in. Yeah, well, one's my iPad, so that doesn't count as a person. Okay, we got our friend Joe here. So I learned that I left my Apple Pencil at the shop. So I'm forced to go analog today. Perfectly fine. So that actually means I don't need my iPad here. So let's see. Okay, cool. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? How you doing?
Good. I learned that I left my Apple Pencil, so yeah.
Oh. See that again? Analog.
Yeah.
Analog.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I prefer analog.
Well, now we're forced to do it this time, so we get to draw analog alongside you.
Back to chiseling into the old stone, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of weird because for me personally, I don't know if there's anybody else. When I draw on Procreate for a long time and then I switch to analog, I get kind of messy with it. I'm like, oh, geez, like I have to be a little bit more like structured. Can't just make a mess and clean it up.
I mean, you can. It's just a little bit more trickier. Just a wee bit.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. So what do you got? What you got going on today? Still filigree or what?
No. Actually, I'll show you where I'm at with that one. I took a break off of that one for a minute. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but
oh, nice.
It's getting there. Not quite where I want to put it, but it's getting there.
What are your issues with it?
I still got to put spiders in there.
I mean, maybe they're just antique filigree. They just put in the dust for a little while.
Oh, so. No. I want it to be a little bit in my head. The way I pictured it, it's a little darker. You know what I mean? Like this is halfway done. So.
Do you start drawing for Halloween now? Because that's what I do usually.
I start drawing Halloween stuff. I don't know, all year. Right.
And we got a good friend Jason here. Hi, buddy.
What's up, man?
Hello.
You look so enthused, buddy. So enthused.
Magic bean juice.
Yeah. I like that color, buddy. Yeah.
This is my new favorite mug, by the way.
That mug is awesome.
Right? Right?
Yes.
Matches my tattoo, so I can't say anything.
Sweet. All you need is a big old sandworm going around it.
That's going to go right there to finish out the rest of my arm. That is my goal. I'm going to have the mouth going up here, like the 2-headed mouth, and then it's going to come down and kind of wrap around. Probably go a little bit on my hand.
I'd say go more angular with it. Do more like the silhouette of the house, right? And then have the sandworm coming out from behind that.
Ooh, that'd be a good idea. See, that's why I like fresh minds on shit.
Using the old noggin.
Right? Good idea.
I don't get good ideas that often, but when I do, they're usually pretty good.
All right, where's the calendar? We're gonna mark this down.
Yeah, I'm limited to like one a month, so I am SOL for this coming convention.
Oh shoot!
I know.
Yeah, sorry. You just got my one good thought a month.
Great.
Feel honored, man.
I'm glad you wasted it on me. Good old me.
Oh,
I wouldn't call it a waste. It went to someone that appreciated it.
that's so
Yeah, you got a point.
sweet.
Besides, Kira got one in July. She got my intelligent thought of the month in July.
What was that?
So, I don't know. It was your job to keep track of it and remember it.
It was such a great idea.
You have
Forgot
many great ideas, so really, I don't know. Could've
No,
been
I'm
any of them.
usually pretty limited to like one a month.
Oh,
I think that's the average. Every
Yeah.
now and then it's
Average.
like a weird month, like a full moon. You know, every now and then you get two of them in a month.
yeah.
You know, but it doesn't happen that often. So
It's like the moon phases is what you're like. Okay.
Once in a blue moon.
So I will say that sleeve that you did is, phenomenal. Good job.
Yeah.
Do you
Thank
have
you.
pictures you want to share?
Right?
sure. Let me airdrop them real quick. I didn't even transfer them over to my laptop yet.
Okay. That's perfectly
We
fine.
will share the video and a couple of pictures because I can do this for days. I take like 10,000
Days.
pictures.
All right. Well, okay. You're gonna share them. I will share them. Perfect.
Where was the video from day one?
So yeah, we got a Philly coming up. That will be super fun. That's next weekend. Never been to Philly before, so this will be fun.
Oh, it's a blast. There are a
Right.
lot of really weird people there.
I mean, and
It's
then
an
I guess
experience.
it's not that. I guess it's
And
not that
I
different.
I actually have some activities planned for us as well, by the way. We'll be going to the Muter Museum of Medical Oddities in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's cool.
It's one of 3 museums of its kind in the world. And it's got everything from drawers of things that people have swallowed and ingested. It's got a whole wall of actual real human skulls listing the name of the person, that skull was from, where they were from, how old they were, how they died. It's pretty comprehensive.
I have a question. Is this gonna be?
You have lots of questions.
I do. Is this gonna be before or after you make me eat a Philly cheesesteak?
You will
No,
not
no, that's
regret
going-
that, by the way. You will not regret that one bit.
See, that's Joe. I agree but disagree at the same time, respectfully. I would agree because it is the most delicious thing on the face of this earth, right? It will literally dissolve in your mouth as you're eating it. It's that
Mhm.
good.
What?
The
Yeah, it's
problem
good.
that you
It's
run
good.
into is that they're so good that you don't want to stop eating them. And that can lead to you having 2 or 3 in one sitting. And trust me when I say, a lot of times your stomach does not agree with that.
Wait, 2 or 3 in one sitting?
They're that
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
2 or
He has a
aren't they
point.
aren't they like a grinder? Like it's a full grinder. So how do
When you taste them, you will understand.
You'll be like, everything else doesn't matter. This
Pretty
is the only
much.
thing that matters.
There is a reason why people move to Philadelphia for food.
I mean, Massachusetts is pretty known for food too.
Here's the thing. I had one time because my buddy went to Philly to visit his family, right? He got me one, and then on the plane ride back, I tried it when he brought it back, right? Because the plane ride was only like 40 minutes, if that. You know what I mean? So I picked him up from the airport and everything else. He gave it to me, and I ate it, and I'm going, "Oh my god, I need to go there like tomorrow," because it was fucking delicious.
He's not wrong. It's
What?
that good. People do not realize the goodness that is a true, authentic Philadelphia cheesesteak.
Yes. Yeah. Many imitators, but there's only one Philly
Oh, yeah.
cheesesteak.
Well, a lot of it comes down to the mineral content of the water.
Oh, he's getting really technical right now.
I've actually looked into this because I had a cheesesteak made by a guy that used to work for Geno's, right? Which is one of the like most
Right.
well-known cheesesteak places in the world. This guy used to work for Geno's for years and moved to San Diego, opened up his own cheesesteak place to get an authentic Philadelphia cheesesteak in San Diego, right? Brilliant idea, right? Brilliant idea. And he still makes a killing selling them. They do not taste the same. They do not taste anywhere close to the same. A lot of it's because they source their bread locally. And because the mineral content in the water in San Diego is different from the mineral content in Philadelphia, when they make that bread, it's not going to taste the same. And it's not just the bread, it's the combination between the bread, the synthetic cheese that they use, because we can't actually call it cheese because it's not actually cheese.
How's it
Yeah.
not actually? Oh,
It's
that,
liquid
like,
goodness.
I don't
Okay.
like that kind of cheese.
It is delicious on a level that you have never imagined.
There's a place in Florida called Big Al's where they actually ship the bread and the meat down here.
They do. They have to.
Yeah.
You have to get the meat from the right place. You have to get the bread from the Amoroso rolls. You have to get the cheese from the right place. Like, it is a whole thing, right?
They
If
just
you
do, they do
if
the
you
cheese
alter
with,
any of it, it's not going to taste the same.
it's good though. It's called Big Al's, but I don't think it's like perfect, but it's definitely close compared to most places. But it's definitely the bread and the meat.
That's okay. Everybody has tried a cheesesteak except for me.
It seems to be that way.
It seems like everybody's like an expert on it.
I thought they put like spaghetti sauce or something in half of Philly and something else on the other half. Is that correct?
No,
No, that's not right. I thought Geno's did
no,
something weird.
you get an option, and when you go to order from Geno's, your option is this: it's either with or without.
Okay.
That's the only option you get, and that's with or without fried onions.
Gotcha. That's a nice change of pace from options.
They actually, when you're standing in line, they have several signs up that specifically tell you, hey, here's how you order. You go up to the window, money in hand. You say with or you say without. You say with if you want fried onions. You say without if you do not want fried onions, and that is it.
Gotcha. I would do with.
Right.
That's how they have it down. And it's
so
crazy.
serious.
But they literally have lines wrapping around the building
Yeah. Isn't
until 3:00 in the morning when they close.
Isn't there one other place that claims to be Geno's too?
So there's Pat's and Geno's, which are the two rival places, and they're literally, so like if you have the corner of a building, right, at one intersection, directly across the street at the other intersection is the other place.
That's crazy. And do they
Yeah, it's
argue about
like
the candidate?
everyone in Philadelphia, well, actually, true Philadelphians will go through and tell you that neither one of them are actually the best cheesesteak in Philadelphia.
That's true. It's true.
Because we know the best cheesesteak places to go to that only the locals know, right? Like Gooey Louie's, Steve's, which I personally prefer over Pat's or Geno's. That's just because I don't know, they do something weird. I think they sprinkle a little bit of crack on it.
As that
Has yet to be
Philadelphia
proven.
touch.
They've never been busted, but
There's a dude down in Boca too that he brought one of the machines from New York to make the pretzels. So he has like a New York pretzel machine down in this little shop in Boca. It's pretty cool.
That's
He's like
awesome.
slammed every morning. Yeah, it's cool.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I think I just texted it to myself so I can pull it up.
Perfect.
See if
Oh,
I can
let me
actually-
let you
Yeah,
share.
I'll share in just a second. 1 minute. Yeah. Let me just boot.
Sure.
Cool.
I was
So
surprised that you did that 2 days in a row.
Yeah, me too.
By the way, I didn't know he was
Didn't
going
know
to
if the
sit
guy
for
was gonna make it.
so. His little nose. I love it.
nice.
That's cool, dude. I like that.
Yeah, what you can't really see is how it's gonna settle down because there are very few true black lines in this. A lot of medium gray lines were used, a lot of soft gray lines. But there were not that many actual hard black lines except for in the face of the dragon. Like in his head, as far as like a perimeter line goes. And I actually started to dilute the black lines as they go around, like on those upper fins right here. These actually start to fade as they go back. I kept dipping into my medium wash as I was outlining everything to start to lighten it up a bit more, so that by the time they disappear around the front portion, like down over in this area, they're actually fairly light. I think they're pure medium gray at that point.
That's so
But-
great, man.
That's real nice, man.
That
Yeah, it
black
took,
is solid.
6.5, 7 hours to outline it. And then we busted out all the shading in one long 9-hour session.
Yeehaw.
It's amazing what you can accomplish with a 23 mag.
Right?
How did you get him to, like, did he say he wanted to come back the next day? Or did you guys already have it planned out? That
No, it was planned. He booked out 2 full days. And
Yeah,
I
2
told
days
him
in a
in
row.
advance, like, listen, we'll book out 2 full days with you, but you're paying for both days. Whether
Right.
or not you sit or how long you sit per day is irrelevant. We'll do this, but you're putting down a 50% deposit and you have to pay for both days regardless of how long you sit. Because if I'm blocking off that much time for you and you no call, no show, I'm screwed,
Right.
right?
Those
I
are always
just
the
took
worst.
2 full days. That's enough time for me to get in 4 additional appointments.
Right.
So yeah, you're gonna pay quite a bit of money for it.
Mm.
But that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to try to get as much done at, essentially one shot as possible, just so that way he wouldn't have to take too much time off from training, because the guy fights professionally for MMA.
Mm,
So he doesn't want to take a whole lot of time off for training to heal. So he's like, do as much as you can in like 2 days, and I'll book another session at the end of the month. And, if we need that. And I was like, all right, that's a good idea. Yeah. I'm down. You're still going to pay for the full day if you come in and we work for that 3rd day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll do that. Not
Oh,
a
yeah.
problem.
Yeah, good for you. I mean, did he sit well in that 2nd day?
Oh, dude sat like a champ. It's weird. It's like he had some kind of weird nerve condition where he couldn't feel pain.
That's
I would have been
great.
crying like
Yeah.
halfway
I'm sure
through the
he-
2nd day.
I'm sure he felt it. Just felt it in a different way. Because I've had clients like that.
I pulled out all the stops though, right? I had him super distracted with movies the entire day. Gave him a pair of noise canceling headphones, right? Which by the way, Seriously, the best $60 investment I ever made.
Really? Do tell.
Active noise canceling headphones are a dream come true for your clients and for you. Okay. I give them these, right? And it's all vinyl on the inside. So I wipe everything down afterwards and all that stuff. They actually go through and they're adaptive noise canceling. So they're going to pick up, they've got a built-in microphone. They're going to pick up all the ambient sounds and then cancel them out. So like any machines running in the background, any kind of music coming from the other, stations, whatever, it doesn't matter. You throw these on, you put on a movie on your iPad and you let them watch a movie, and you would be surprised at how quickly people will sit still.
Yeah, that's why my old studio, I had that system and it worked pretty well. But this new one, I don't. Thinking of getting headphones. I was like, what if I got them headphones?
That way they can adjust the volume all you want or all they want. And you never have to sit back and worry about, okay, well, maybe the other artists.
Would that be like weird? But
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. I like to zone out when I do tattoos. I just like to maintain ultimate focus when doing it.
Me
Yeah.
too.
And that means sometimes I don't want to be a dick. And, if they don't have headphones on, I just don't want to like purposefully ignore them. But at the same time, I want to focus on doing the best tattoo possible. And that's what I explained to this
Yeah.
guy when he was coming in. And he's like, dude, I totally get it. Like, give me the headphones. I'll put on a couple of actually, I think day 2, I had him watching Westworld.
Cool.
Yeah, day 1, he watched the entire first season of Warrior on HBO, which, by the way, if you guys like Kung Fu movies, you've got to see this show. It is incredible. It's Bruce Lee's brainchild. It is like Western meets Kung Fu. Right? Awesome combination.
Interesting.
But
Yeah,
I gave
that's
him the
interesting.
headphones and I said, here's my iPad. Watch whatever you want on it. I have every movie channel you can imagine. Go. Right. And he did. And I just sat down. I think the only times we really spoke were when he needed to get up to go to the bathroom. And whenever I had to stop to do something, he'd be like, how's it going? Good, man. Yeah. And then just went right back to work.
Anyway, especially
So-
with bigger pieces, that completely, especially bigger pieces. You want to just zone out. Yeah.
So that's what I
Yeah.
did. It seemed to
The
work
smaller
really, really
stuff, I don't
well.
mind. I do a lot of small stuff.
Oh, and
That's awesome.
lots and lots of Advil.
Right.
You fed him Advil or you took Advil?
Well, I mean, I had to force feed him at one point. I did have to force
That's
feed him
awesome,
at
bro.
one
You
point.
really busted that out. Force feed him? Oh my god, that's
No, I didn't actually
force
force
feed
feed him.
him.
But I always keep a big jar of ibuprofen at the studio at all times for people. And people, it's amazing how well it helps take the edge off. You know,
Yeah.
a couple before you get started, and then a few hours later, and you're good to go.
I have to take some like 2 hours in when I'm doing color. When it starts to swell, I'm like, you want some Advil? I'll leave. And I've been known to ice too. I don't know if that's good for it though.
I mean, ice does help. I usually save that for after the session.
I sometimes do it at the very end with the white, just to bring the swelling down and kind of relax them.
That's what I use a witch hazel or Bactine for. Does the same thing.
Yeah, I got Bactine for that. That's what I do. Try to calm down the skin a little bit.
I got everybody in my shop to start using Bactine.
It's
so
good
maybe
stuff.
doing somebody's hand. It is,
Mhm.
and they'd be doing somebody's hand, and she'd be like complaining, and I would just like slip over the Bactine.
Yeah, that's
bottle.
when you're just like, "Psh, try this out. I think you might need it.
Hey, just wrap this up for like 5 5 minutes, she's not gonna feel it, I promise. Like,
They have
they were shocked. They're like, "Wow, this is awesome."
I always try to warn them because it always
But
like
yeah,
burns at first, but then it's like, oh, that's soothing after a minute.
And then you touch down again and they're like, what was that magic spray? Can I get
Right?
some more? And it's like, no, you
Yeah,
can't
I've-
have any more right now. I literally
For
just put it on you.
some clients. Ah! Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hate the most is when they keep asking
Yep. I've
for
had
it.
clients
And
call it
it's
magic
like,
spray. 'Cause
I can't use it on you all the time. Like, I'm sorry,
like, I
but
don't
you're
even
gonna feel some of
it, and I'm like, good.
To
Mhm.
be honest, I normally spray it on there, wait a minute, and then put like my white highlights and stuff like that. I feel like it has better, let the redness kind of die down, all the swelling kind of die down. Then you go in with the white, and then they can hate you at that point.
And they will.
But it's really not. But it's really not that
You know
bad.
this. You know that they're gonna hate you at the end of it. They're gonna be like,
Yeah.
why did you have to put those white highlights in there?
Yep.
Why?
They're like,
Were,
it looks
were
good
they
as
absolutely
it is.
necessary? And it's like,
Yes, they are.
Yes.
you'll understand when you see it when it's calmed down.
Mm-hmm. Once it heals and all that white kind of busts through all that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
What about-
Also, when they say that it feels good and everything, they keep asking for it. I keep telling them it's gonna wear off. I'm like, it's gonna wear off. Just to let you know. Don't get used to it. But this is great. This is fantastic.
That's where like Vaseline is glorious, but number one, I don't use it anymore because it's got a lot of vasoconstrictors in it. So it toughens the skin up.
Is that like
But number two, the second it wears off and the second people start to realize it's wearing off, they're in a whole world of pain that they might not have expected.
Mm,
So it's like the more you use it, the more it's going to wear off and the more it's going to hurt after it wears off. So you pick.
right.
Yeah, it's like a frame of reference. In the permanent makeup, we have to use all that BLE or whatever it is, like benzocaine, ephedrine, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the ephedrine that's the vasoconstrictor.
Yeah, like we're supposed to use it on like the eye and stuff because we don't want it to swell. So that's everything that I've read. Kind of do it between, like you do one pass of the eye, and then when you wipe it, you use that stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To keep the eye so it's numb. I was wondering if that would work with tattoos, but yes, they were talking about I thought they said that if the lidocaine was over 5, that it would make the rubbery skin, but it's the ephedrine, the one that makes it.
It's the vasoconstrictors because it's
Gotcha.
constricting all of the blood vessels at the top of the skin.
Right.
That makes
And
sense.
because it's constricting those blood vessels, it's making that skin, that area that you're working on, whether it's eyebrows or the inside of an arm or the ditch of an elbow, it's going to tighten all of that up because you're literally constricting all of those blood vessels.
There's that one brand that's I've been hearing about a lot, and I think that's what they are. So I don't think I want to. They just started selling a little tube where you put it on 90 minutes before and then you use it during.
Oh,
But
the pre-process.
It's got the vasoconstrictors in it though. So I was wondering how they're getting away with it.
So there's a big difference between the pre-process and the during process. Pre-process is it's going to do the same thing if it's got a vasoconstrictor in it. So it doesn't matter if it's pre or during. But the during session stuff, that's where I always find that it usually comes in the most handy. I find a lot of times people that use the pre-process, now granted, depending on what you're doing, right? Like if I'm working on a back piece and someone comes in with, a lot of the pre-numb on, it's going to be an absolute challenge. And I know the second that stuff wears off, they're done. They're done for the day. That's what I've always found. And I've never had that stuff last any longer than 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Right.
Tops.
Yeah.
I don't let people use it unless there's no stencil. I tell them it's not worth it because by the time we get it on, it won't be numb anymore. Does that make sense? Like all the setup and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, if they put it on by the time they get through the doors, fill out paperwork if they haven't done that already. You get the stencil on and you start, everything is set up. It's by that point in time, you're what, maybe halfway through its effective period.
That's what I mean. I tell them second session, just don't even worry about it for the lines and stuff.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. If you can't sit down and get through the outlines on something, should you really be getting that tattoo?
Yeah, exactly.
Very good point. Valid point
Tattoos
right
are
there.
uncomfortable for a reason. And it's not just because, you're inflicting damage to the skin. I mean, yeah, that's what's going to do it. But they're uncomfortable because you have to earn your tattoo.
Mm-hmm. I agree
It's a
with that.
rite of passage. You have to earn the right to wear that tattoo. And that means going through the process of getting tattooed.
True.
And I'm a firm believer that not everyone in the world should be getting tattooed.
Oh yeah, definitely. Tattoos are definitely not for everybody, and I
Yeah.
say that full-heartedly. You know what I mean? You cannot convince everybody to get a tattoo because it is not for everybody. So
That's 100% true. I have a cousin that has literally one dot on her because she just won't. Like she was gonna get the tattoo and literally like that one test dot done. I'm like, oh, okay.
We call that the
This
Phoebe
is
from
not for
Friends.
everybody.
but yeah, right. The Phoebe
Phoebe
from Friends. Phoebe got the whole world.
from very, 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 very far away.
That's so
Oh,
funny.
shit.
Yeah. What's everybody working on today?
Waking up.
Right? I'm trying to get this freaking dragon to look right, and then I don't know. I might erase it and fucking start over. I don't know, cause I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
if you're working on Procreate, you can just backspace.
Yeah.
Two finger tap, or two finger tap and hold.
That's what big erasers are for too. So
I do that on paper. Like when I'm drawing on paper now, I start tapping it and scrolling.
There's
That's funny.
There's this
Why
movie
won't it
poster.
zoom in?
Right?
A movie poster about like it was like a horror movie poster. It's like supposed to represent like the 60s and 70s horror covers, and it was just about how you were drawing on the wrong layer. It was like the title of the movie was drawing on the wrong layer.
That has
When
happened
So it's a
so many
worldwide
times.
phenomenon.
When you've just poured hours of work into a piece and you realize it was on the wrong layer,
Right. And there's no way of separating it.
right?
When I do
See if I
the
can find it. It's
when I do the permanent makeup thing,
It's-
'cause you don't do the Vaseline and you don't dip in water, so I'm constantly confused because like I'm trying to like, my hand and there's nothing there. It's like the same, but it's just different enough that it's like messing with my head.
Hmm.
It's like the same procedure, but just a tiny bit different.
Right.
yeah. Has anybody tried to double tap skin?
I was saying, if anybody, it's probably gonna be me.
Sitting there with your gloves on. It won't. Why won't it? Oh, that's right. Never mind. I got it.
I've only caught myself once doing that, and it was like real quick.
I mean, every
Like,
single
what?
permanent makeup test, I go for my left hand and the glide on it. It's not there. Or when I first went wireless, I would tap.
My client's like, "You right?"
Floor. There's nothing there.
Oh yeah,
I did
Dave,
that for
we've
a
all
while.
done that.
Yeah. You hit the floor like, where's my?
It's like, oh yeah,
that's
wait a
right.
second.
Fuck.
We're all trained.
Or I don't know how many times I've had the battery pack on my machine and I've put it down with it still on and walked away, not thinking to turn. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'll just put it down, and walk away, and come back. It's still running. Like, oh shit. Live and learn. That's all I can say.
So I found it. Let's see if I can screen share here for the web. You think I like know Zoom by now, but I don't. It's
I know how to do this much, and that's about it. Yeah, I'm doing good now, right now.
there it is.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That is awesome.
Oh my
I saw
goodness.
this and I was like, this is the greatest thing. I need this on a t-shirt. It's amazing.
Right? Yes. Yes.
By
a
the time you
poster.
see it, it's already too late.
I'm making that a poster now, hanging it up in the shop somehow.
I'm
Real-
the third one down where it goes every damn time. Oh man. And yeah, there's a bunch of them, but yeah, that's posters. Thank you. It's a great thing how artists can make fun of themselves in happy ways.
I'm gonna
There's
step
humor.
away real quick, guys, to grab this painting. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. So, Faith, what you working on?
What'd you say?
I said, what you working on today? You the one screen
These-
sharing there?
I do these value studies, basically, just something kind of like how I let my brain relax and still make art. But there I'm just mapping out the black, dark, middle, light, white areas in different colors. And then when I color them in, I practice different color schemes and things. Just kind of like trying to put color on autopilot. It seems like
Yeah.
sort of
I like doing that with colored pencils, but lately I've been doing more like tonal value studies than color, which is not my forte usually. So, but that's great. That's a good exercise to do. Do you focus more on like temperature or value, or how do you kind of do that?
I mean, it depends. I guess I don't know. For these are just I do these for mostly for fun. But I mostly it's the kind of I work from references a lot that are black and gray. So just practicing to kind of be able to eyeball where like the middles are versus like every time I do one, I feel like I get a little bit better. Just recently, like I'm not really studying forms. That's going to be like my next thing is to study forms, but I feel like I'm kind of grasping and just been doing this a lot. So it's kind of what I've been up to.
You're giving it like a pop culture movie poster type reference feel. I dig it.
Yeah, it's like a pop art realism kind of thing.
That's the word I was looking for, pop art.
And I appropriate palettes that reference the 5 levels of light. And like I use those with mixing strategies. So it's kind of like I'm drawing flash, but not really. So
That's cool.
Do you
Definitely.
hope to tattoo images in that fashion that you're studying now?
Most of my flash is already drawn like this, and I do it like that. Yeah, the only difference is it doesn't really have the harsh edges. I kind of smooth them out and kind of learn into. But sometimes I want to get like that anime effect. But at the end, I kind of color each layer so they end up looking more. Like I did one yesterday. Same kind of thing. But
Yeah, I
when
think I saw that on.
yeah, I was up on Instagram. The idea is that when you remove the color, it still kind of holds up as the same image. And then I have an ink set that kind of goes to the
Yeah.
those. Yeah, so it's I don't know, it's like Sometimes I think I forgot how to make any other kind of art than these 5 levels. But I like
Yeah, it's hard to I always feel it's hard to explain things, especially when I'm trying to like teach a class or something. I'm always trying to explain things and like feel like I sound like I don't know what I'm saying.
Hence why I always say, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yes. Does this make sense? Is everybody understanding? Even though I'm talking to myself during my classes, I'm like, is everybody all right? Because I'm not making sense. Let me know.
Right? Raise your hand. Oh wait, never mind.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's awesome, Faith. That's a good study, and if you find it fun, that's even better. Yeah.
it's cool.
And Joe, you decided.
No, I decided to work with what I had and build on upon it. Thank you.
At least you don't have to worry about drawing on the wrong layer. So you know what?
Right? I only have one layer.
You have the one layer.
Not if you're working on tracing paper
Oh, don't even get me started on that one.
or vellum. Clear design vellum. Love it.
I'm going to go get more coffee. I will be back.
Magic
I don't
bean
think I've ever delved into the
juice.
vellum.
Oh, vellum is
I think everybody
beautiful.
has the magic genie today.
Vellum is as translucent as it's as translucent as tracing paper, but it's far more durable. Way, way more durable.
I have a question, Jason.
I might have an answer.
Are you making a goldfish?
I don't know. Is that what it looks like? I'm
Yeah,
just
it
throwing
is.
paint at a canvas and hoping it turns into something.
That's the best goldfish.
Really, I wasn't sure because at first I
His
thought it kind of
eyes.
looked like a centipede.
No. He's got like buggy eyes.
Yep.
Did you name him? Does he have a name? What's his
He
name?
does not have a name. His name
What?
is Fish.
No, it has to have
I was
a
about
name.
to I was about to say, what did I walk into?
Sometimes it's better to not ask.
That is true. Very true.
Can I name him? His name
He already
is...
has a name. His name is Fish.
Right? Fish. Done.
That's
There you
so
go.
rude. Like that's like if my mom was like your person.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that. I've been waiting for you to do that eye for like a month now, I think. I have like this OCD where I don't like white canvas. So that's like all I can look at.
Mm.
What color are
Yeah,
you
I
gonna make?
always.
You know?
What color am I going to make the eye?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking about having it reflect some of the teals in the background. So I might do like a muted teal just to help tie things together.
Beautiful choice. Well, for me, his name is Clarence, and
This does not look like a Clarence.
Where did you get Clarence from?
This looks more
That's
like
what I
a
wanna
Frank
know.
than a
No.
Clarence.
No, it's Clarence.
I feel like it's
I
more
don't
of
know.
a
I
peach.
just looked at him.
I feel like
Sir
it's more-
Edward Worthington IV is his name.
There you go.
That is a name for a goldfish.
Clarence P. Sherman. That's his name.
Sherman.
You do not refer to the Lord Edward as Clarence.
He's what is his occupation? He's a lawyer.
He's a lord. He is an English lord, thank you.
I love how you're making backstories for a fish.
I do that for like
Great.
almost everything that I see with eyes. I'm like, your name is, and you're like a paralegal, and we're gonna give you a little setting here. Right now he's on his way to work, but he's he's
I mean,
late, so he's rushing through the waves. That's why he's
I do that every time I eat a steak. Is that wrong?
Why? For what? You name
Why
the steak?
Absolutely. I give it a backstory and everything. Its name was Claire.
Its name was
She had a little spot right on her cheek. She used to moo every time it rained.
That sounds so nice.
And now I'm eating it.
And she is so delicious. Sorry if I offended any vegans.
I was just gonna
who are
say
out
that.
there.
Any vegan right now is like, you son of a bitch.
In my defense,
I wish they
that
could give you
animal,
just, like, a
because
meat.
I buy my steaks at the grocery store, that animal was going to die anyway. I don't want it to die in vain.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
You know, it was either let that meat go rotten and have that animal die for absolutely no reason, or I can make a delicious meal out of it.
How rude.
Rude, why? Because I want to give an
Yeah.
animal's life meaning?
No, I can't even say anything because you know how I like my steak.
Yeah, if it's not rare, it's ruined.
I'm very specific.
Right? Just bring the cow in.
and-
I'll cut
Yeah,
a piece
just-
off.
Man,
We'll scare
Why
it with
would
the
you even
flame.
bother to go that far? Just walk right up to it and bite the cow.
I thought about it, but they kick
Yeah,
hard.
no, you have a point. You have a point. Touche.
Like I would bite it, and then I would probably lose a hip. So
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I like my hips. They help me walk.
Yeah, you kind of need them.
Yeah,
From what I
may
hear.
have.
From what I hear.
I may have two, but I don't want to be Hoppy McHopster. All right.
these hips are made for walking.
Oh
And
shoot.
that's just what they'll do. Well, I'm
Oh, Mondays.
just doing a skull study because I left my pencil at the shop. I thought I was going to draw this weekend for clients, but but
Sometimes life has different plans for
I
you.
could always make the trip. Yeah. So right now, but I'm doing it in pen because challenging. So that's what we're doing today. And it's very nice out today. It's very, very cold where I am. It's starting to get like 40 degrees outside. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's getting hoodie weather around my area right now, and I'm loving it. Oh yeah, it's my favorite time of year.
It's coming quick.
I know.
Yeah, sweatpants season is upon us.
I mean, technically, all year round is sweatpants season. Just how determined you have to be.
Right.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I always like the hardcore ones that cut their sweatpants into shorts for the summer. They're like, yes, this
I've
is
been
happening.
wearing the same pairs since '84. It's like, wow, that's determination. See,
Right? That's loyalty to your clothes right there. Like, should I get rid of these?
Literally.
Nah.
Is
Yeah,
that
these
loyalty?
do
What,
to
how
your
many holes do
clothes?
they have in them? Oh, they only
Right?
have 2? You still got like another 5 years left.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. I'm gonna show
Hot and
my
hotter.
And then we have Faith, who lives in Florida, where it's 80 degrees and beautiful most of the year.
It's
No,
not-
that is-
what
it's
seasons?
That is not.
hot as whatever right now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's so
It
it's
does
brutal.
get insanely hot.
No, I hate the humidity down there because every time I leave my hotel room when I'm in Florida, it hits me in the chest like a freaking brick.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you leave that AC room and you're like, you know what? I was gonna go outside, but I don't think I'm going to now.
After a couple
I
of
thought it was
years,
gonna
your
be-
body like equalizes. You don't feel it as much.
As much as the scary part right there.
healthy and go for a walk. Scary part for me because just live in hell for years.
You know, it's like living in Alaska, right? The only reason why there are human beings that live in Alaska is because their body is acclimated to it
True,
and
true.
they get paid to live there. So
Right.
I want to live there.
No,
how much do you like the dark?
right? I don't.
Well, I mean, do you see my skin reflecting off of this light right now? I love
True,
the
you would
dark.
glow in the dark there.
I gave myself a UV tattoo. I do glow in the dark.
I am a piece of paper. Heck yeah, a full bodysuit, UV.
You don't even need it.
I don't.
Just need some bright colors and
No.
that'd be it. Some really like graffiti green or something like that, and just
It's like-
that'd be it.
I would thrive in Alaska. I mean, it's so cold. I'd be like, this is perfect right now.
Hmm.
Everybody at my shop likes to keep it nice and cold in there too. So
Hey, Faith,
Yeah,
did I hear you correctly that you gave yourself a UV tattoo?
I did. Yeah.
And is it visible?
Is it visible? What do you mean? Is it visible?
Like as of right now, like if you look at where you did that tattoo, can you see it?
Yeah. I mean, it's healing though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why?
I was
Curious.
just curious.
I bought the mom's ink one, and it comes with a bottle of Invisible, but then the rest, like they're just colored ink, but then they also glow. So I used the pink and the green, but like the pink, the red, and the orange, they all kind of look almost the same under the UV, and then the yellow and the white kind of look the same. So I'm trying to use like three. Here, I'll show you this. I drew this face thing with my friend that I started the other day too, which is this one. Let's see. Then- see that. But so it's got all the different colors. I was gonna try and use like the orange and the red and the yellow. I was gonna try and make them contrast, but we didn't even get through the green because it was so hard to get in. But I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. But then
Yeah,
Mine-
my general rule of thumb whenever anyone asks me about UV tattoos is I'll ask them a short series of questions. And I'll flat out ask them, you know, are you a DJ? Are you a stripper? Or do you plan on carrying an ultraviolet light around with you at all times?
well, the guy that's getting this, he has a UV all over his house, so he qualifies.
Yeah, that there's a qualification there, but when you get random walk-ins, like those are my three qualifying questions, right? Because if the answer to all of those is no, then when are you ever really gonna tell? Why not just make
Right.
it a bright green or a bright pink or a bright orange?
No, I definitely
know-
get that. It's mostly for the kids and the club goers. Not the kids, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I have a lot of friends that go to clubs and stuff down here. Pretty hard for them. But yeah, I know what you mean. There's not a lot of black light in the world.
Yeah,
I wish they could do glow in the dark, but I assume that's toxic.
I would assume.
well,
I think
I
that
mean
would be bad.
the jury's still out on the UV pigments.
UV
as
light,
well.
yeah. That's why I
But I
haven't
mean,
really messed
if
with
they're
it too
willing to
much.
get the UV, I mean, they might as well develop some type of an iridescent glow in the dark pigment.
Yeah, I would.
Oh, I tell you one thing, if they figure that out, that's gonna blow up.
Yeah, that's gotta be toxic though. It
In
just
this
seems
day
like
and age, you never know.
Well, I mean, it's definitely not going to be, all organic and vegan friendly.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I don't even, are UV even that? I don't know. I don't know. That is my question.
I'm gonna show you the dragon I did. One sec. I remember I was drawing this on the class.
Is that a rework of somebody, like something that somebody else did, or did you do the whole thing?
I did the whole thing. I just did the second session. It's like on her back. I don't usually do stuff that big or dot work. But I didn't get it all done. I'm gonna do the bottom, and then she wants a bunch of red in it as well. But I had fun doing the texture.
Yeah, I like getting lost in texture.
Went
And
pretty
you're like, wait,
fast.
I gotta finish this. Like the planet tattoos that I did, not like last week or something like that. I got lost in the texture of that, and I was like, oh, should probably wrap it up.
How did that turn out though?
So,
I was curious.
I got some pictures of it. Show that.
And I did this one right after it kind of defeated me though. And she tapped out. I don't know. I just couldn't get the ink in. It doesn't usually happen these days.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the flower on the front.
Thank you. Yeah, it's actually that flower went pretty well, but it went downhill after that. I'm not sure why. I think I might have been tired from the dragon.
You did that on the same friend or a different one?
Different friend. Someone right after.
Yeah, I've definitely had those days of tiresome for sure. Let's see. So I did these. This was this kid's first, and I pretty much outlined the whole thing first, and then started with the bottom two planets, and then jumped over and flipped his arm over to the top three, and then flipped his arm back over again, did those two, and then flipped his arm back over and finished off everything else.
It's cool.
nicely
So-
done.
Those
Thank
are
you.
nice planets.
Hey,
Yeah,
I had way too much fun with the Earth one because I was like, look at the little swirlies. This was the Jupiter here was the one that I was kind of getting a little. That was the most nerve-wracking one because if you see Jupiter, it's like a giant marble, and you're like, wow, that's a lot going on.
Right. Yeah, I'll have to.
But I think,
Go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say, I think that the only thing that really helped it out was that I just used the same palette throughout. So I used like a bunch of blues in the Jupiter to make it actually look like it belonged in the same scene. So even if I missed like major details of it, it still looks like it belongs there.
Mhm.
So that's how I kind of went through with that. But I purposefully made that Saturn super black on the right hand side because later on he was talking about putting something in the background, and I was like, yeah, man, you should put like some, I don't know, like some negative space with some galaxy stuff in the background. That'd be cool. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that because you put that hard out or that hard shadow on the Saturn. So I managed to get him to schedule for another appointment. So I don't love clients, man.
Mhm. I'll definitely have to get some. The one I was telling you about is coming in this Wednesday. So I'll try to get some videos of the inside of her arm, show you the planets and stuff that I did. That's cool.
What are you doing for that?
What do you mean?
What are you tattooing?
An entire galaxy scene. Like she's
Oh,
got
that's right.
space,
That's awesome.
right? I started that whole sleeve. She's got a space helmet on top of her arm that's like a cover up, which is why I did a space helmet because the visor.
Space helmet.
Yeah. Kind of floating in space. She's got a alien fucking sitting on a crescent moon with a galaxy scene behind it. She's got planet bullshit on the inside of her arm.
That's awesome.
Then Mars, whatever the next planet is, and then Saturn. I think
Yeah.
that's how they went. I'm not sure. Anyways, she had lettering on her forearm, so I made that like a space panel, like floating in junk, like floating in space. And then she's got an Among Us character on top of her arm. A UFO
That
beaming
UFO
down.
must have been fun.
It was interesting because it was like a lot of dot work, and I don't do dot work like that. So it was fun for me because I don't do that kind of stuff, and I always like doing new things. Oh
That's
man,
awesome.
I did a lot of work on her arm. She comes in like twice a month.
Oh, I love those clients, really.
Right?
Like, you want to book it already? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
I used to
I
have
love
one
those
client-
returning clients.
I used to have one client that would show up every Saturday at noon, like clockwork.
Right.
Get
Jason.
anything done in one session.
That's awesome. Well, is she still come around?
No. She ran into a little bit of financial issues and stopped showing up a few years ago.
It happens.
Yeah.
Hey,
No worries.
you know, that's awesome that she was able to come down as often as she did.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, she was using it more as like a therapy session than
Yeah.
like an actual
Yeah, I
like
feel
tattoo
that.
session.
Okay.
You know, and it's like, oh, cool. So basically you just want a therapist. All right.
Hey,
I can
sometimes that's
do
what we
that.
are.
Yeah,
I
a
do
lot of
that.
times, yeah.
All right,
That's-
fellas. I gotta go.
All right.
So you
have
all
a good one,
good
bud.
day.
I'm actually jumping off in just a few minutes as well. I've got a laundry list of things I got to get done, including laundry. believe it or not.
one question.
Mm.
Last night I was watching all the interviews and stuff on the Numa 4. Do you have an opinion on that? The
Do I
tattoo
have an
machine?
opinion on it?
Yeah, you.
I mean, to me, well, what machine are you using right now?
I used Bishops for 7 years, then I used Zion for a year, and I just bought a wand. So I'm
Okay.
switching to that, but it was broken when I got it, so I sent it back and waiting for it to get come back. But I
mean,
did coil
don't-
for a year.
I do. I have looked into the Numa 4 as well.
Uh-huh.
You know, at this point in time, my own personal opinion is that I already have so many machines, like it's ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
You know, like I could pick up and use a different cartridge machine for every tattoo. And,
No, I feel you.
you know, so I think it ultimately comes down to, is anything wrong with your existing machines? Number one. And if there's nothing wrong with them, then, you know, why switch it out? Because
I can't
consistency
find
is
a-
everything.
I didn't like the Zion at all. I struggled with it for a year. I don't know why I kept it for a year. But then
Interesting.
the Bishop, when I got the Bishop, I bought the shader because I was going to use the Zion for lines and the Bishop wand shader but the Bishop wand shader actually works perfect for me as a liner. And
Okay.
which doesn't 100% make sense, but it's too slow as a shader. So now I'm still trying to find a shader that's just a little bit for faster hand speed. So that's
what
that's
are
why I
you
would.
what are you running the shader at? Like
What am I
voltage?
running at? I've tried it everywhere. I can't find, like on the Zion, if I turn it all the way down, I could shade okay with it, and I can shade okay with the bishop, but I just always end up moving too fast. So I'm trying to find something. So I thought maybe the in and out that he was talking about in all the interviews would get me, so I could have a fast hand speed and still get in and out of the skin and not get snagged or not. I get the, what's it called, like the stippling effect, because I just go a little bit too fast. And it's usually like as the session progresses, like I try to keep rhythm, but I always end up just a little bit too fast for my machine. So that's what I'm trying to solve.
And that's for like every machine that you've tried, right? And you've run the wand shader all the way up to like 11 volts. I think they go up to what, 12?
I only used it twice. The whole handle was like off center. So I just said like it like shook while I was using it. So I sent it back and haven't heard from them.
That's no good.
They got it like a week
That's
ago.
not no good.
But I'm mainly curious about like his theory that the time in the skin is all that really matters.
So it's kind of negligible. It depends a lot on your hand technique and whether or not you can control your hand. That's something I struggled with for a really long time. And that's part of the reason why I've invested so much money into different machines that just sit around and collect dust now. You know, it ends up turning into a situation where if it's necessary to buy a machine, by all means, yeah, pick it up, see if it's for you. You know, if one of the machines that you had isn't really running correctly, like your wand shader, if, you know, you're struggling with, you know, just not with it not keeping pace with your hand, well, that to me is something that you can control. That's a controllable variable. You know, you can go through and slow your hand down and remind yourself, oh, wait, let me take this a little bit slower. Let me move a little bit slower. You know, so that's more of like a controllable variable on your end, but that machine might be just fine. It also depends on your school of thought, right? Because the two schools of thought are, you should get a machine that'll match you, but you know, that's one school of thought. The other school of thought is learn how to use your machine. Now, two totally opposite sides of the spectrum, right? And I've asked builders about this several times. I've talked to a whole bunch of different artists as far as, well, what philosophy do you subscribe to? And a lot of what I've heard from a lot of really well-known artists that travel in every style you can imagine is find a machine that works well, that's reliable, and use that. But until you've got 1,000 hours of tattooing with that machine, don't change your machine, right? You know, get used to what you have. And when you've mastered what you have, then you take another step, right? I picked up the 2 Zions in the beginning of 2020, right?
I mean, I used the Zion for a year before I gave up on it.
I fell in love with them. Like I broke it out the other day. All of that black and gray shading that I did on that sleeve, I used the Zion for. Like all of it, 23 mag and up. Like it can push whatever you want it to push, and it can do whatever you want it to do. The question is, how are you using it?
What I heard is that I should ignore people who are telling me to run it at a 5 and a 6 and just run it at a 7 where it works.
What, for the Zion?
No, for just in general, I should just shade a little bit higher speed.
I mean, I always shade faster. I was running that Zion at 8+ volts.
I work in I mean, that's kind of what I would do. I would be in like the 7 to 8 range, but everyone in my shop is like a soft, slow black and gray. So ultimately, I just need to.
Which moving your hand slow and building up those tones and those values is fine if you're doing more portrait style work and you need those values to be 100% perfect. If you're blocking in underlying value, like a perfect example. Look at that dragon I did, right?
Uh-huh.
I didn't have to have a perfectly rendered version of that.
My
Okay. It
style,
didn't have to be perfect. I needed to block in value. I knew that this area here was medium gray and lighter. So I would start with a medium gray and whip out. I knew that this area was going to be a light gray and lighter. So I would start with a light gray and whip out. I knew that this area was going to be a dark gray and fade into like a light gray. So I would do dark gray, whip out, you know, maybe a little bit of medium and then a little bit of light. But it's unless you're doing that kind of like realism kind of work, I say go through blocking that value. You know, it's if you're not doing photorealism, then you don't have to be that specific. Run it faster. I also know guys that do realism that say, well, whatever the machine's maximum speed is, that's what I'm running it at. Right. And their stuff is super smooth.
That's what I mean.
Super
I think I should just go with what's working and not what everyone else is doing.
Yeah. Figure out what works for you. You are
like
not
that tattoo, the second tattoo that I felt like I dropped the ball. It started out great on that flower, but then I was like, oh shit, it's at a 7.5. So then I brought it down to like a 6 and a 5, and then I just struggled for the rest of the tattoo because I couldn't get it the fuck in.
Yeah. Run it wherever you need to run it so that it works for you. Don't worry about numbers. Don't worry about voltage. Don't worry about what other people say. Do what works for you. I've seen guys use the same machine doing the same style of tattoo at all different voltages you can imagine.
But that's also part of why I was interested in that Numa thing, is because the idea that it reacts to the skin like coils, and then as a tattooer, I would then react to the machine, which thus I would be reacting to the skin, versus the machine just hitting the skin and not really. Did that make sense? Like versus the machine kind of doing whatever it wants, and then me just having to adapt and kind of figure out the machine. Like I want to adapt to the skin, not the machine. Did that make sense?
It makes sense to an extent, because you're always going to have to, every person's skin that you tattoo is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
So do you really want to have to invest in a different machine for every single individual?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not so much. It's more like being able to feel the skin versus just feeling the machine. Like if I take the Zion, basically it's gonna feel pretty much the same in my hand no matter where I am, versus another machine that might have more of a reaction to the skin pressure, to the type, to that kind of thing. Whereas I could actually feel. Like I think people use like, is give really just us feeling the low power of the motor and like feeling the kickback of the skin, and that's why it's.
Well, yeah, it's going to be resistance.
Somewhat.
You know, if you want to feel that resistance and you want to feel that impact of the machine,
right,
then go with something that has a longer stroke. Throw on the 3.7 cam for your Zion.
I had that almost. I switched in the first couple of weeks, and I left it in the whole time, and it was much better.
So what you're saying is you want to feel the impact of that machine, not necessarily reacting to the skin, but you want to feel that impact of the machine.
I want the machine to be more or less an extension in my hand. To feel like I can feel everything that's on the tip of the machine. I want to feel it react onto the machine so that I can adapt to it. Versus maybe a machine that's like so aggressive that it'll just plow through anything. It doesn't matter whether it's soft skin or thick skin. It just carves out, almost like sculpts out and I'm trying to find, like, I'm looking for like an organic type of feel that possibly coils might have filled a long time ago.
See, I personally have always felt that coils were far more aggressive.
Yeah, I didn't really get into coils that much.
You know, if you're looking for something that's going to be a little bit more gentle on the skin, then I think that has a lot to do with adjusting the technique.
I think I'm just going to stick with the wands, because
the wands are good machines.
After
good
a year,
machines.
Like it felt like I was like coming home, and like all my lines improved, everything improved on the 2 tattoos that I used that thing with. even though it was clunky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wands are really good machines. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with them. They work really, really well. You know, they're tried and true. There's tons of artists around the world using them with fantastic results. You know, same thing with Injectas, same thing with Zion, same thing with, you know, the Flux, same thing with, you know, the Raquel, right? Same thing with Cheyenne's. You know, there's artists all around the world that are using whatever machine you can name with unbelievable results, doing every style you can imagine. I've seen guys using a Cheyenne pen, the original Cheyenne pen for traditional work, and it's phenomenal, unbelievable, right? And, you know, I've also seen them use it for black and gray work, you know, super delicate fine line black and gray. I've seen them use it for bold color traditional or bold color neo-trad stuff, you know, and a lot of it comes down to how can you manipulate that machine to get it to do what you want it to do? You know, that's my 2 cents on it. I mean, by all means, if you got the money to throw around for it, pick up a Numa. You never know. It could be a game changer. You know,
Yeah.
but I would say if you're like me and you're a bit more on the frugal side, where I like to try to bank as much money as I can, mostly because I like to travel and that's really expensive. So it's like, okay, well, I know I have these machines and I know they run and work well. And I know that there's guys all over the world that are using them day in and day out doing incredible work. Maybe it's me.
Yeah.
You know, that's the mindset I came up with, was maybe it's me. Maybe I need to look at what I'm doing or how I'm using it or how I'm setting up that machine. Maybe with this machine, I need a little bit more needle hang. Maybe with this machine, I need to work more off the tips than the tube. Maybe with this machine, I need to, you know, just barely graze the skin or run it at its extreme low range of voltage to get more torque out of it. Maybe I need to run it way higher to get a lot smoother black and gray. You know, so figuring out all of those intricacies and how to get it to do whatever you need it to do, I think is a critical thing.
I think the style has something to do with it too. Maybe like the styles I want don't necessarily map up to what I'm good at or what I'm used to or what I've practiced. I don't know.
That could be it, but that would be more along the lines of, you know, the art side of things than the actual mechanical side of things.
Yeah, I agree with that, but like, I don't know. I think I just need to run my machines faster. I think that's
Yeah.
the issue that you just solved for me.
Screw what other people think. You know what? They might be sitting back doing soft black and gray portraiture, and that's cool. And you know what? They're probably correct. If you really want to build those tones and values, and you really want to be super precise with it, you use a number 8 bug pen, you run that shit slower than dirt, right? I should be able to see grass growing faster than you're tattooing. You just brush it in lightly, layer by layer, and you just build it up. But if you're not doing portrait style work, who cares where you run it?
It's true.
Yeah.
I
mean, I just tattoo based off.
Hello? Is that my internet?
No, I think it was hers.
The mediums that I know best, I guess. So I use a lot of round shaders because but I have to dip out quite early today, so we can call this a short session of completion. I do want to see what everybody's working on, so I'd like to go around, show everybody what they got going on, what they worked on, and they can do their closing, how people can find them, all that fun stuff. So let's start with you, Faith. Let me screenshot you here. Spotlight, gotta use the right terms here. And all right, Faith, where can everybody find you?
You can find me. It's probably gonna be backwards, is it? Yeah, it's gonna be backwards. Hang on. You can find me there. Wincolor.com, WYNNcolor.com. It's a free art education website. And then my Instagram handle is going to be the same thing, Wincolor. So yeah, we're
Awesome.
our new shop's opening in a couple weeks. So we're busy, busy, busy.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. And Jason Fish. Oh, the fish.
Everyone, Jason here. I lead the Sunday afternoon drawing groups. You can find me on Instagram at Philly Inc. Should you ever have any questions or, you know, comments about anything, yeah, hit me up.
Oh, okay. Good job, Jason. And then
The interwebs.
place spotlight. Wait. Yeah, thank you. All right, I had terrible technical difficulties here. You can find me at Frankie Says Things on Instagram, Frankie Tattoos Things on Reinventing the Tattoo. Join me on Thursdays for the fundamentals class I do in the morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Join us back here every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern time for the Monday Mind Drawing Group. Yeah, thanks guys. This is the point where everybody makes a funny face, I guess. This is like